Now, there's a warning today that thousands of cases of Lyme disease could be going undiagnosed. Spread through the bites of small ticks, some symptoms can be mild at first, but the long-term effects can be devastating. The National Institute of Health and Care Excellence says that 3,000 reported cases of the condition is likely to be an underestimate. Joining me now is Simtee for you. It took her a year to get a correct diagnosis for Lyme disease after a year of tests. Just tell us what happened.
I was bitten about 3 years ago in 2015, and I was lucky. I'll say lucky because I happened to have spotted the tick on my right foot, and I obviously Googled tick bites, and Lyme disease came up. So I went to my GP and I said, could you test me for Lyme disease? To which she agreed, and we did the ELISA test. But little did I know then that it takes about 6 weeks for the pathogens and the antibodies of the tick to show. So I got a negative test. And then based on that test, I just assumed that I didn't have Lyme disease. But then I started getting a lot of symptoms like flu-like symptoms, headaches, migraines, panic attacks, tingling and numbing sensation, joint pain, memory loss. And when I started having the memory loss, that's when I realized there's something really wrong with me. So then I had to go privately and get my blood samples sent to America and Germany, and it came back highly positive.
And since then, how has it affected your life?
It has affected my life in a lot of ways. I'm no longer the person that I used to be. I used to be very active, driven, but I found myself almost bedridden. And also, I couldn't get the help from the NHS because the NHS basically don't believe in chronic Lyme disease. They just believe it doesn't exist. But here I am today, and so are a lot of people out there suffering from Lyme disease and being misdiagnosed because there's a lack of awareness, and there's also a lack of training for the GPs in the UK to recognise early symptoms of Lyme disease. Lyme disease can be treated, but if it's caught early enough and if you're given a course of antibiotics straight away, sadly, there is no cure for chronic Lyme disease, and that is the truth. It just goes into remission.
Just looking at, the figures, 3,000 cases, that is said to be completely off the mark. I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think that there isn't that much information, or doctors aren't perhaps spending more time in finding out more about the disease?
According to John Codwell, there could be up to 45,000 cases out there that are being misdiagnosed. And the reason being is because the testing is not accurate. There is not a lot of funding going into treating and into finding the correct testing in the UK, because they just don't believe it exists in the UK. And which it does. So there should be more funding going into finding, the treatments in the UK.
Okay, Simtee, appreciate your time. Thank you.